Number 51. Ear. I have said before that some things are just not for everyone. I don't mind bugs at all, but not everyone feels that way. I was working out in triage one night and my partner was in the bigger assessment room. A young lady came up to the window and complained to me that she had right ear pain. I immediately knew what it was, because I could smell it. A cockroach. I certainly didn't say anything to anyone else, but I knew it. Unfortunately for her, it was a busy Saturday night and there were no beds available. So her vital signs were documented and she was directed to the waiting area, and her chart went in the rack for all the to be triaged charts. When her chart came up again, I volunteered to talk with her and advised my partner to take a break. I knew that she had a thing about roaches. She hates them. I just want to be clear. She wasn't afraid of them, but just hated them. I don't know the history of why. She was surprised that I was advising her to leave when there could be work to do. She grabbed the chart and looked at it. As she read it, the color drained from her face. She looked at me with gratitude in her eyes, then she excused herself. I called the girl up and she had her ear almost to her shoulder, and she looked uncomfortable. As I welcomed her to the office, she was grabbing at the ear. I figured she would complain about it. Indeed. Like a person trying to scratch an unitchable itch, she was extremely frustrated and a little spooked. She didn't know what it was. I could smell the sickly sweet smell of cockroaches all over her. I don't know how she couldn't smell it. She told me that it didn't really hurt that much, but it was really creepy, because she could hear and feel it as it was scratching to get out. There wasn't enough room for it to turn around to get out. I told her that I thought I knew what it was. She couldn't smell it. My sense of smell is a blessing and a curse. The department was a little backed up, so I was trying to give as much information as I could on the chart. I went back to the fast track area and retrieved the otoscope with the black tip on it to look in her ear. You know what they are. I went back into my triage office with my prize and saw the girl sitting there looking bothered by the thing in her ear. She had been sticking her fingertips into her ear canal to try to relieve the itching, but her fingers were too big. I had a rolling stool in there. I sat on it and sidled up close to use it. To use the otoscope properly, you really have to get up in the patient's personal space. As I did, the odor was so strong to me. I pulled her ear outward and inserted the tip into the canal and advanced it. Then I carefully looked into it. Eureka! There it is! A German cockroach was squished in her ear canal. I could see its little crimson legs and its back end. As a nurse, there wasn't much else that I could do besides visualization. I pulled the tip out and rolled backwards. I told her what it was. Her facial expression went from curiosity to disgust. She nearly vomited. I told her that she would have to wait to be taken to a room to get it taken care of. She accepted it, but she wasn't happy about it. She kept blinking super slowly. I showed her out, and she started walking like she was trying to balance a stack of books. She was not moving her head at all, and moving ultra smoothly. She said that she felt that if she didn't jar the cockroach, that maybe it wouldn't scratch anymore. After a few minutes, my coworker returned and questioned me about the last patient. She could see the otoscope. In revulsion, she asked, "Was it?" I didn't speak. I just nodded my head and pursed my lips. She made a sound expressing her distaste and disapproval. We continued doing more interviews. After some time, one of the attending doctors called and said that his patients were in a holding pattern, and was there anything out here that he could take care of? Actually, there was. I thought of that girl right away. My partner immediately volunteered to take charge of the window in case anyone else came in. The doctor came out and brought the alligator forceps with him. They are great because they fit through the opening of the big tip of the otoscope. He explained to her what he was going to do. She was good with about anything. She just wanted it out of her ear. He got really close to her and inserted the forceps. She didn't budge an iota. I grabbed a sterile urine specimen cup and the doctor dropped the pieces in it. It was too big to come out in one piece. I've seen a lot of them, and that was a pretty good-sized cockroach. The girl didn't move during the procedure, but kept making disgusted sounds every time a piece of its little body was deposited in the cup. After about 4 diggings, the whole cockroach was out, and the girl was sufficiently grossed out. He put the instruments down and told her how the roach had probably scratched up her canal and her tympanic membrane, or eardrum. He instructed her to take Tylenol for any more pain in her ear. Then, as nicely as he could, he tried to tell her to try to get rid of the cockroaches and to sleep with cotton balls in her ears.